Agenda for the tutorial. I'll be covering today what are impact bonds. I'll give you both the overview and a detailed view of these bonds. We'll try to understand what is the difference between social and development impact bonds, which are the two forms of impact bonds, or the actors, and understanding them with examples as well as the limitations. There are some of the research which I have referred to. There are a lot of names. I've referred to Brookings, a lot of reports, NDP, Brand, Social Finance. A lot of reports have gone. Stanford Social Innovation Review has got a couple of very good articles on this space. Impact bonds, they are part of sustainable finance or sustainable investment. Make them as quasi-derivative instruments. You will understand as we go forward why I've focused them towards the derivative instruments. Predominantly the evidence-based approach which has come in within the sustainable sector. So this impact bonds is a major part of that. It builds on public-private partnership with multiple actors working on collaborative model. I'm talking about impact bonds. I have taken this. Impact bonds are part of impact investing space. It's a collaborative tool of public-private partnerships specifically for social impact bonds. It's a form of blended finance and has a pay for success, which is an outcome-focused quasi-derivative instrument. When you are looking at blended finance, it's basically how the payments are structured to investors, how they'll be taking the risk. Look at this as we go forward. We talk about impact bonds. Bonds is a misnomer because although impact bonds do give back the principal with an interest, there's no surety of that return. So it's basically based on a contingent. This is why there's a report which I have already mentioned, which is categorized this as exotic call. I've put in as a binary call option, which is an exotic call option, and we'll look at what the payoff structure is. Basically all or nothing payment. How I've structured it. So it's a pay for success. It depends on output, or the payout depends on meeting certain targets, which is basically outcomes. Whenever you're talking about outcomes, these are outcomes which are predetermined based on the interventions, what the problem you're trying to solve. One of the major innovations of impact bonds is it transfer risk from non-government entities to private sector. It's basically from public to private sector. We'll be discussing today's special purpose vehicle structure. Come to that at a later date. We are talking about impact bonds. This is more of a lengthy, description. Where you're looking at outcome, will know different actors, outcome payer. In a sustainable bond, outcome payer is a government entity, whereas in a development impact bond, the output is paid by a third party. Now, this is basically a bridge between public and private sector. We're looking at the duration of these bonds. It could range from 10 months to 5 years with an average duration of 42 months. This is something which I got from Brookings report. It builds on United Nations the 17th principle, which is basically public-private partnership. So sustainable development goals, United Nations has 17 sustainable development goals. This is very focused towards the 17th. This enables the 17th goal. It's a new type of asset class structure. When we are talking about impact bond, there are two kinds of impact bonds. It's a social impact bond and development impact bond. As I go forward, we'll look at what's the difference between the two bonds.